Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby together.
Hey everybody.
Hello everyone.
Welcome back to Cinerama with Papa and Mama. I know it should be Mama and Papa, but you know, I'm sure you prefer being in front, right?
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't matter? Okay. Well, did you guys have a good week?
Yeah, we had a good week.
Good week, good movie week, good happy week. Yeah. Movies is
We did a lot of walks outside. It was good weather.
good weather, yeah. I think it's good that, you know, everybody thinks like, oh, we're just watching movies, like, are we just gonna be shut-ins? No, we also go for walks too. You guys you were in the city also.
Yeah, we were in the city as well.
Yeah.
And the flowers are blooming. I saw some daisies coming up.
You guys can talk a little louder.
Yeah, so the daisies are there. I think tulips are also blooming. And so how was your week?
My week was good, yeah. You also enjoyed the walks?
Yeah, definitely.
Enjoyed walks.
Yeah.
But we're not here to talk about walks. Yeah, so this week we saw Bob Marley's One Love, bio picture about life of Bob Marley. Do you guys remember Bob Marley's kind of memory in the 70s and all?
Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
Yeah.
That time it was different genre for the music. You know, reggae music was just coming up. Mostly it was rock and all. You know, so.
Yeah. You guys never saw him live or anything, right?
No,
No,
we
I don't
didn't.
think so.
I think he basically did some concert in California because I was just trying to see where all he performed.
In the U.S., yeah.
US, yeah. Basically, he was doing more in England and he did in Australia.
A lot of Europe dates too.
A lot of Europe.
It's almost like Europe got him more than the U.S. You know?
Yeah.
It seems like his stuff kind of he was in the Europe and UK and Africa, and then he reverse crossover like
So he was trying to get till the end to go to perform in Africa. You
Yeah.
know, that was his dream. You know.
Yeah, that was the dream.
But I think once he moved to London from Jamaica, that's where then he got more European tours and all. You know,
He was discovered.
after the album
Yeah.
Exodus, that was a big album.
Yeah.
I know, so a lot of people don't know this. My parents have like a big vinyl collection, you know. I think primarily, would you say you're doing the heavy lifting on the vinyl collection, or?
Yeah.
But you also contributed a little bit.
Yeah,
Oh,
actually
yes,
we had subscribed to some sort
The
of a
old
mailing.
Columbia.
Yeah.
I think
Also, a lot of your records came through
Came
like
through
Yeah,
that,
So
yeah.
every month, all the records that were published used to come to our doorstep.
No. But I lost a lot of collection because I had left it when we moved to Chicago. I left it in one of the friends' garage in a chest. And when the flood came,
Oh, they got lost. Damn it.
that was too much in North
Oh,
Dakota.
wow. What do you think you lost? Like what type of?
There were almost maybe 100, 200 albums.
Oh wow. Because you have quite a bit here still.
Yeah, a lot of
but
them.
not.
So you might have had like 400 at one
Yeah,
point.
right, yeah.
And we have now a record player.
Right, my younger sister, daughter Shivani, she got you another.
But I still have the original stereo
You
system.
still have
and I'm saving it, but it needs to be cleaned and hooked up and all that.
I'm sure you would like it to be gone.
Yeah, but actually this record player plays really well.
Okay, so have you tried playing some of your old stuff on there?
We're playing some more.
So then the question is, to bring it back to Bart, did you own the Exodus album? Do you remember owning it at one point?
No, I don't think so.
You never really got into reggae.
Yeah, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Actually, it was kind of interesting how they came up with that name, and first he didn't like the cover of the album, so it was a big deal, the cover of the album.
The record
was
executive, yeah.
Yeah, it was a big deal what it should be, and I think Bob Marley liked the simple look, and he went with that, and the other guy said, no, we should have your picture. He said, no, I don't want my picture. That tells a lot about his personality. He didn't want that much fame. But he was getting the fame, the way people were discovering him and finding him so talented. And his wife was keeping him grounded though. So
I mean, I think that's important. Anytime you have quick fame, and relatively at a younger age too. It's not like he was 40 or anything. Like he was in his 20s.
He passed away when he was
36 something. Yeah, he was 1 year younger than me.
Yeah.
But that's kind of critical. Like when you're having fame at a young age, you have to have good support system. I think that's
Yeah,
very
I think
important.
for Beatles it worked out good because they were four good friends and they looked out for each other.
And they knew each other, but they also had a relationship with each other before.
Right.
It wasn't like they just got together. The label didn't bring them together. They're not like a boy band or anything. They were playing music for years.
Same thing with Rolling Stone. They get along so well.
They knew each other. Yeah.
They still are hanging out with each other.
I mean, Rolling Stones have been saying they're going for a farewell tour forever. They've had like 5 different farewell tours, you know?
Yeah, so they are, I mean, those type of bands had no problem, but the solo artist always
tougher,
has some people to keep. And it was interesting, in his most break came on July 7th, 1977.
So 7/7, 1977, yeah.
Lucky date for him, I guess.
It's very interesting how in certain, depending on it's not even a religious thing, but some people get interested in auspicious dates. You know, just to kind of peel back the curtain for our viewers, you know, when I was thinking about album recording dates and all, I consulted with you guys about what's an auspicious date, and it's really not from a religious standpoint. It's more from number. You know, it's good luck. You know, good energy numbers.
Right, right.
And it seems interesting that even he was concerned.
Yeah, so I'm so like surprised. Even back then, 7777 was a.
I think he might have consulted with the Rastafarian teacher, you know, that shows because first he met him when he was a teen or so.
Right.
And then after that, he went back to seek more advice.
From the
revolution when they were, you know, inter-gang fights and also.
That was our thing. Growing up in a very violent, you know, I mean, that was what I thought the movie did a good job. So as we got into the movie a little bit, well, first off, when you're watching the movie, you know, before the movie started, they had a little message from his son
Ziggy.
And I thought that was a good, you know, they've been doing that a lot with movies lately. They're saying thank you for coming back to theater, thank you for enjoying in the theater.
Post-pandemic, I think they want to give special thanks from the main people and characters involved. Yeah.
First off, asking you guys, you've been watching some movies at home and some movies in theaters. In all honesty, I want to get your honest opinion on this. Did you find this movie, do you think this movie was better to see in theater versus at home?
Yeah,
I think any music.
So you'll
definitely you get the better
concert.
Concerts and all. That's so. I thought it was since we all know it's a biopic, you know, but it was the movie endeavors to peel several layers of his life, you know,
that we may not know these layers.
Right, and it reveals, the movie shows the man behind the music, the legend, the father behind the legend, and the soul behind the revolution, you know.
Yeah.
All three combination, it comes out.
Because he didn't want to be political, but he made it political.
Right.
Naturally. Hey everyone, I hope you're enjoying this episode of Cinerama. We got one of our sponsors right now. It is the actual record player that my parents use to listen to records. This was a gift. It's in like a briefcase format. I hear it's very good. I know it's very good because they have not allowed me to use it. I'm not allowed to touch this. I'm actually not even supposed to be doing the sponsorship commercial right now, but that's how much I believe in this product. You will never see this on any other podcast promotion ever. You can play all your old records, whatever records you didn't lose in a fire or a flood, you can play them here. Get it today, and also let your parents use it, and let your sons use it. I am not allowed to use this run, but that's how much I believe in this product. Yeah, that movie is very interesting because it kind of, you know, unlike a lot of biopics that, you know, have a linear story, One Love tried to kind of play with the time frame a little bit. They started in the middle of the story, they went backwards, they went forwards, there were flash forwards. It's kind of confusing if you don't know.
Very attentive.
Yeah.
Because sometimes they show their childhood, sometimes they are dreaming about their childhood.
Right.
And I think he saw his father a lot on the horse. I mean, we don't want to give out, you know, details, but
well, we can spoil a little bit.
A little bit.
You should have seen our episode, the last episode. We spoiled the ending. It's okay. It's okay to talk about the ending.
Yeah, I think
he had visions.
He had visions, and so it's always back. And these movies, we know the person a little bit because we have heard his music, But if you are just watching the story, you have to be very attentive in
You have
these
to,
movies. You know, these days they make it very confusing too, and they think it is artistic way of putting this movie together. And I like that his son came in the beginning and said that we all approve the way it is.
Yeah, they got
We are
that.
very happy with the outcome. So that is very important, you know, what they want to show about the person. Sometimes there are things they don't want to show, although
Or they don't want to share.
or they don't want to share. Even if it was on the news, some things they don't want to talk about that in the movie.
Well, I mean, a movie is meant to glamorize. It's not glamorize, but it's meant to show and highlight good things. And if a family, we've all seen the biopic movies where the family has no say in it, and then they complain afterwards. So to me, if we're going to keep making these type of movies with the different artists, you have to get some approval from.
Yeah, because he's one of the producers. so he
He's
could
also
show it.
involved. Yes.
So
If you notice in the
helps,
credits,
yeah,
Ziggy, all the Marleys were included in
Included,
the
yeah.
credits.
And
Yeah.
he also performs. He does.
He
concerts.
tours still, yeah. I mean, and you could say, you know, look, I don't get mad when if it's a family member performing memory of the person,
Right.
he's keeping memory alive, and also who else is going to do it? It should.
Right.
I'd rather it be a family member,
Yeah.
you know.
And also, basically, he was very much involved in making this film. So he probably observed most of the segments.
Shooting, yeah.
I think it should have been more musical segments than they were. But they were more about
story.
life in Jamaica. I mean,
Yeah.
I was informed about how the things were. I mean, I was not that aware of what he went through. Also, I didn't know
The
that
political part gets kind of
Yeah.
glossed over, you know.
Yeah,
I think people just focus on the reggae music and the smoking.
Right, yeah.
They don't focus on the
And
serious
plus,
part.
they also show that he was very impoverished as a childhood, you know, and painful childhood.
Painful
Yeah.
job.
So that's where, when it comes to back and forth, kind of, I think it helps, you know.
Yeah.
And
That's
people
why they show
believed
some
in
of those.
Jamaica, people believed in him, and he was the one who could bring the peace. So they told him to do the
Almost a
concert.
Messiah complex,
Yeah,
a little bit, if you
so-
think about it. Yeah.
So basically, a musician can have that much, sort of clout or a power to change the world.
Change the world, yeah.
You know, same way you too. I mean, he does so much charity. So similar type of thing I felt about him. That's why he did the free concert in 1978 in Jamaica. So basically,
Amid like violence, like there were
Yeah.
people telling him not
to do.
He put his life on the line, if you think about it.
And
yeah.
his wife was hesitant that he should not come on the stage, but he
Right.
said, "No, I will do it for the peace," you know. And he was suffering from cancer. Now I feel that in today's time there could have been a cure, but maybe back then there wasn't any cure
Early
for
stage.
Early stages, and also wasn't early
Research,
detected.
yeah.
Also, he
Maybe
kind of
not early detected
Yeah.
because of all the crisis. He was not even sure where he was living.
Mhm.
Was going here and there.
And he's on the road too. It's hard to when you're on the road. I mean, certainly you could get a doctor to maybe look at. You kind of take time off.
And
You know, when you're traveling, this is something I'm learning as I'm traveling a lot for comedy. You know, the more you go, it's hard to think about other things
Other
and focus
things.
on other things.
and
And this guy had a team around him of people that could help him. You know.
Not only that, imagine in 36 years of his life, he made such an impact.
Yeah.
I mean, we know him as Bob Marley. You know, everybody knows.
Everybody
his
knows
name.
that image. You know,
And
iconic.
that,
yeah. His songs are used for different commercials and promotions now.
So,
you know.
and he was only 36 years old, and he did so much. So, I take away that anyone can do a lot of good things in short time. I mean,
if you
it's
believe in
amazing.
what you're trying to do. I still remember that there was a really good scene in the movie, which at one point I'm like, wait, why is this other band being focused? Like, no, that's him in the past. When he was trying to approach the record label. First they said no, which is good.
Right, yeah.
I always think these parts of the story in biopic needs to be encouraged. You need to show the rejection. You need to show how you overcome no. You know,
Right.
because it's nothing is easy in this world. You know, there's always obstacles. I personally, you see me, I get frustrated. You know, to peel back the layers to our listeners, I get frustrated sometimes with obstacles, but we have to remember that nothing comes easy. You know.
First time nobody likes you if you are different.
If you're doing something different. Correct.
And I guess when he went to England, the scene was very different. Real rock and roll was going on in one of the places, and then his was totally different.
Completely different sound, and people weren't into it right away. It took time.
But he, in his that Exodus album, he did put in some little rock and roll beats and all to try to
change a little bit. But the main fame came when he was introduced to some royalties. That's when I thought, oh my God, now he is famous.
To be this, kind of, you come from this sort of lower class, lower means, and now you're hanging out with royalty and all. It can be jarring at times. It can be confusing.
But I don't think it made him that happy about it or anything. All he wanted was
he played a lot of soccer. That was definitely the focus of the movie.
I mean, he was very active and he was very athletic. And he had a lot of kids, though. He had lots of kids. And
procreating.
Yeah, and I guess his wife took care of him in last days. The family was the one who took care of him.
It's funny, like the kids, they showed like the kids got left in the U.S. or something.
They weren't
safety.
They only came, I think, after he came back, moved from London.
And
then there was
I think a very strong character was his wife.
Yeah, I don't think she gets enough credit.
She really took care of him and the actress who played his wife is a very she did a great job. I think
both of them, even the
actor,
Kingsley.
And that's very Kingsley
Lynch.
Lashana Lynch is the actress. She had a tough role because she really had to hold down the dramatic weight of the.
And also the accents they had to do. Kingsley is a Britisher.
Yeah, he had to learn this specifically.
So
he was also one of the Kens in Barbie, to bring it back to some of the other movies we've seen.
Yeah, but speaking of some of the dialect, obviously Jamaican dialect was hard to comprehend, at times.
That is the challenge of seeing theater. There's no captions on the screen.
But then again, it was kudos to the accent too.
They're doing that's the point.
But the thing is that we are very good at understanding different accents because we are aware of so many different nationalities, and I've worked with many different types of country people. So
you both have come from sort of like you've worked with different types of people in your jobs and just in life. You're worldly travelers.
So we can really pick up these different accents and we can understand them better.
But the music was still the ultimate star of the movie.
I think it got enough of a. I know you mentioned that like you didn't feel it was enough of a concert, but I think to your point, I do think there was enough of a focus on the music.
I think there should have been more.
You wanted more concert scenes.
At least from the Jamaican concert, they should have shown at least half of the song, which they didn't even show properly.
They didn't. They kind of cut away with the final concert, and then they cut back to the concert. But then they showed the real concert too. So it's very interesting how the focus of that went. They're showing you, but then they're teasing it too.
But I think in the movie they also wanted to show how important role he played for the revolution and for bringing.
It seemed like that was
to his country, and that's what I think they were.
But in Bohemian Rhapsody, I think they did a better job of showing us some of the songs.
That could be the focus of that movie.
Yeah, but then maybe.
But when you have more of a political, it seemed like the focus of this movie was to show the other parts because everybody kind of knows the concert. I felt like his family wanted to focus on the political part.
Yeah, and speaking about the message, like we could use his message right now, more than ever.
Yeah,
and all his message was love and peace, and then that all the mankind should live together irrespective of race, color, or religion, and any other conflicts which end up in wars, you know.
And that's such a
what
that's
I think
that message, and it's unfortunate that we still need that message today.
Right,
Also,
yeah.
and that clearly people haven't watched enough of that message because
One Love is a significant
Yeah.
of that, you know.
it's so interesting. I feel like I heard that song the first time when the cruise commercials for Jamaica, like it became kind of a
Yeah,
song used
right,
for
yeah.
Jamaican
It's a very
tourism.
famous song.
But it's funny how it's really not for Jamaica. It's more about peace, and
Peace.
Yeah.
you know, again, where it doesn't matter where you come from, but it's unfortunate what's going on in the world right now. There's so many different examples of people using their differences not to help each other, but to hurt each other.
Yeah, but I think these type of songs and these musicians, they bring goodness and harmony in the world.
People need to remember those songs,
Yeah.
though. Yeah.
So
Any more final thoughts on the movie itself? Kind of. So you both like the actors, actresses.
Yeah.
I think it was a good movie, very
Um,
entertaining, very well done.
I thought the one character who was kind of like the British kind of his liaison, that kind of producer or whatever. I thought he was a good character too.
Yeah, and the one who came to represent from the from US.
Yeah, that was James Gandolfini's son, who
Gandolfini,
plays
right,
from James
yeah.
Gandolfini of The Sopranos.
Because he knew how to promote, so he did promote.
Yeah.
You know,
he didn't like that album
album cover, right? Yeah.
initially, but it's such an iconic album cover. It's funny how what becomes iconic may
Yeah.
not be what you think in that moment. You know,
Yeah.
no one ever knows what's
Yeah.
gonna.
My biggest take of the movie was the powerful metaphor as Bob Marley being the message and not the messenger. See, that was my biggest.
You can't shoot the messenger,
Yeah.
but they did shoot the messenger a few times though.
I know, I didn't even know that it was so bad out there in Jamaica that he got even shot.
I think any of these countries is
Many countries, when they get the freedom, then the power struggle is there. You know, which party wants to come in and then do. So that was the whole thing.
So
It's
on the whole, it was a really good movie. We loved it, and biopics are very hard to make.
They're very hard to make it because you have to find totally what do you want to say with this, because there's so much of his life to cover. And you only have 2 hours or whatever. I think it was about 2 hours.
And then they might have shot few things just like
They did.
editing.
Just for timing or for flow.
And then it has to get approval from a lot of people. Who
The studio has to approve, the family has to approve. You're dealing with so many different
people,
portrayals.
yeah. So
I don't envy the directors at all.
Yeah,
And sometimes they also have to think from how well it will do at the box office, because ultimately the box
That's what
office
matters too.
matters too.
If you guys don't know, this movie actually came out on Valentine's Day. It's been a while.
Yeah,
since this movie's been
yeah.
out. That was such a great conversation we're having. Before I get to the rest of the episode, I want to plug our second sponsor for Cinerama. It's Kitchen Strainer. Yes. Are you someone who is excited to cook, or maybe you saw a few episodes of The Bear and think you can kind of cook? You need a classic kitchen strainer. Probably 99 cents or probably overpriced. It's really good. I believe in this product. I've never actually used this product, but it's so good that I still believe in it, and it's a sponsor for Cinerama. Now enjoy the rest of the conversation. So I think overall it was a great movie. Definitely recommended. If it might still be in theaters for our listeners, viewers. If you're watching or listening to this, it might still be in theaters, but if not, you can rent it. It's definitely worth your time, for sure.
Right.
One of the more popular, better done movies we've reviewed on this show.
Right. And on the whole, I would give thumbs up to this.
Thumbs up. So it's funny you're bringing up thumbs up. You know who famously made thumbs up?
Roger Ebert and
Gene Siskel
Siskel.
of Chicago fame. They were also Chicagoans like us.
Actually,
One was for Tribune, he used to work for Chicago Tribune, the other one worked for
sometimes.
Sun
Yeah.
Times.
So basically,
So like that. Before we get into that, I do want to touch on for our viewers and listeners, they may not remember now. There's so many ways to review a movie. You can review on websites and all, but kind of explain the popularity of Siskel and Ebert for those who may not know.
they were very popular movie reviewer. They used to have column in the
Paper,
paper.
but also a show.
But they had a show on a regular basis. They had a show
Yeah.
once a week, I think.
Yeah, and they had a show. They would do the movies of the week, you know,
Yeah.
as soon as they opened. I think they used to go to probably the preview.
They've got critic screenings.
Yes.
Yeah, and then they would already have.
And Gene Siskel had he still has that film center. It's right on State Lake. It's a
Right.
very famous film
So
institute. You can go watch
basically, they were
movies.
very popular not only in Chicago but all over,
All over the world.
National.
national and international.
But they filmed out of here, right? Yeah.
Oh yeah, the studio.
They were
filmed
Yeah.
here.
I remember Gene Siskel was also very popular going to Bulls games. He would host
Yeah.
some of the Bulls
Yeah.
events too. Yeah.
Right.
But then Roger Ebert had a school as well where he taught classes.
Yeah,
and
actually
studied.
he taught classes in Sun Times building, and my former boss, Maya Romanoff, he paid for our classes, so we.
So what was the impetus that you were curious about film and you wanted to?
No, actually I did film in my school too, and when he gave us as a Christmas gift these classes, so we. Went every Thursday. We used to have a class
With Roger Ebert himself. That was great, yeah.
Himself at Sun Times, and
Do you know what, like roughly a year this was, maybe? Or?
it was 1983.
Oh wow!
So we did review Sophie's Choice. Actually, his favorite films were Vertigo,
Yeah.
Alfred Hitchcock,
Yeah, the height.
and then
Something I think we all kind of have in this family.
yeah, Citizen Kane.
Citizen Kane, that's a classic.
Then Scorsese's Raging Bull
Raging
and Taxi Driver, and then he had Casablanca. These were his favorite films. So
Did you have to review them, or were you reviewing
no,
their
like
films?
he used to talk about sometimes about these films, but we reviewed Sophie's Choice, and he did show some films, art films to us with sound, without sound. Then he used to give us homework too,
To go see a movie. And
to
read.
see a movie and review.
Make notes,
and
come
make
back, you
notes
know.
Did you have to write up like notes?
Right, we used to write
Yeah,
what
no laptop.
you
Yeah, back then just on
No,
paper.
Yeah, what you think should have been different,
Yeah,
things
themes.
like that.
Yeah.
And if you didn't do the homework, he used to say you can leave the class. He was very strict. So first day, he had already given the homework ahead of time before the
Assignments,
class
yeah,
assignment.
basically.
To see a movie, right? What was
Yeah.
do you remember what that movie was?
I think Victoria was one of the
Okay.
movies.
But was he picking movies in the theater or something, or was he picking?
Yeah,
Yeah, because at
whatever
that time
was
what,
playing,
I mean,
yeah.
I don't think VHS was around
No.
then, so you only had the
No.
choice of theater.
VHS was.
Oh, you had it.
Yeah.
But I think Victoria was playing then. He told us to go and
Go and
watch.
see, yeah.
So a lot of movies we reviewed were some of the things he used to show in the class,
Yeah.
which were short films, and we used to see with sound, without sound. So tell the
So
difference
silent
of-
movie, or you're saying he would pick a movie with audio, but you weren't supposed to hear them.
Yeah, and then
So it wasn't a silent movie.
no, then you see it with sound and see the difference it is.
Of the sound mix, okay,
you know,
yeah.
that type of things he used to do. So basically, these were like 5 or 6 classes we had to do. That was the summer thing, and but he was a very strict teacher, and we learn a lot. Then you can see regular films and you can analyze better and enjoy better once you learn all these things. What makes
Just having a critical eye, when you
critical
watch.
eye,
Yeah.
right?
But that was more for, if you want to go in that business like a class, that.
I mean, it's good to have that eye in,
Right, yeah.
Or maybe who would have thought all these years later you'd be doing it again,
Yeah, so basically when you do such type of classes, then you look at the film with different angles too.
So I think Roger Ebert would be proud of what we're doing right now.
Probably. At least we are.
And did you have to go with her and watch the movie?
No, we
You watched on your own?
No, movies I would go.
Yeah, I'm saying you went with the movie.
Yeah, not to them. I thought you meant the class.
We did sit
Yeah, we have
together.
seen, yeah.
Robert Preston or whoever.
So because you were going with mom, did you kind of quiz him on, did you have to talk about it with each other, the movie? Is that something
No.
you guys used to do?
No, I
She
do.
would make her
Notes.
whole notes,
Yeah.
basically.
So did you take a yellow pad in the movie theater?
No,
right now?
I used to come back
And
and then
review.
review
Kind of.
with other peers in my work because
Oh,
we
okay.
all were attending.
You all were, all your work colleagues were
Yeah.
there.
So-
okay.
There was about 6 of
In
them, right?
between,
Six
yeah,
of them.
in between our work, we used to kind of
Ask
gather
each
up
other,
and
yeah.
ask each other if you have done the homework.
And that's I've seen that film. There are film club type things that do that. There's a lot of book clubs that do that
Yeah,
too.
right now, yeah.
That's still very common to do.
Yeah, this can be done this way too. Like everybody watches the same
Same
film
movie and
and
then
then
you
you
talk
sit
about
down
it.
and
Yeah.
talk, just like a book.
We're kind of doing that,
club,
yeah. So I mean, that's what I'm saying. So I kind of want to bring this up because for our viewers, listeners, whoever, reviewing movies is something that's been around forever. It didn't just start because people are commenting on a video and getting upset. Like this has been going on for decades and decades. Being critical with the art you seek, and I think given the way things are going on social media right now, attention spans are dying a little bit. People are they're not watching things with enough focus. They're watching more shorter things. Or they're watching their movies, fast forwarding, rewinding, watching at home. But I still believe there's something to going and watching, just like with stand-up comedy, it's better to watch it live in person. So just like with movies, I think it's better to go to the theater and watch. So I'm kind of encouraging everybody out there listening or watching, if you're watching that movie and you're kind of, try to watch it from a more critical eye, like be invested in what you're watching.
And
Enjoy the
also,
art,
I noticed that you watched all the credits.
I sit through that's actually something comedian Chris Damon, if he's listening, that's something he started doing because he worked in film, and it's a way to pay respect to the crew.
So you sit there another 10 minutes.
Not 10 minutes, like 4 or 5 minutes. It's
Till the end, basically.
Well,
depending on
if you notice, a lot of movies now do have Easter egg scenes after the Marvel movies. If you remember,
they have some scenes
they were
after
doing,
that.
and they did that. You know why that
On
started?
purpose, yeah.
Because they wanted to pay because those crews worked really hard.
And there's music.
There's music,
The songs are during the cast.
I mean, look, if someone has to go, I'm not going to tell anyone who has, holding it in and bathroom. If you got to go, you got to go. But if you can do it, I'll try to do it because I do think there's something to also. You just finished the movie, don't you want to sit there and process a little bit? I like to do that a little bit. So between processing, between staying for the credits, and that's I noticed in LA, when I was watching movies in LA because they will re-release movies in theaters in LA. A lot of times they will clap during the credits, or a lot of times someone might have worked on a thing, so they're waiting to see their name on the credits.
Right.
So it's very common, and I think to me, given we've had a lot of strikes lately, a lot of things about crews not getting paid enough, the least I can do is sit through the credits.
Yeah, they might have.
I might not focus on every credit, but I'm sitting through the whole credits.
They all must
They
have
tend
done
to
such hard work.
Hard work.
Go fast also, the credits.
They go
it's
kind
not
of fast.
too
Yeah. But it's there. It's a plan. So I want to pay respect, and I worked on it, and also to our people who are listening, pay respect to the crew, pay respect to the the movies themselves,
behind the scenes,
in front of the scenes. Take time to appreciate the art that you're enjoying. There's so much different art out there, whether it's stand-up comedy, painting, movie, TV, graffiti art, whatever, what have you. Appreciate the art that's out there, and that's kind of the point of what we're doing here.
Yeah.
Repeat that. Yeah.
Well, so just appreciate art, everybody, and this has been this episode. We'll see you next.
Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a